Mark Raymundi here for CageSideSeats.com alongside, well, this man needs no introduction, Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. A few minutes ago at Walter Pyramid here in Long Beach, California, New Japan's Strong Style Evolved just finished up. The main event was a tag team match between the Golden Lovers, Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, against the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson. Dave, immediate thoughts on the main event? I know it just ended, but what is your initial take on the main event?
I think it was probably the best tag team match that I've seen, at least live, and maybe that I've seen at all in a year, a while. I mean, the last one that I thought of that actually I thought was on this level was Young Bucks and Adam Cole against Ricochet, Matt Sydal, and Will Ospreay at BWG. That match was like completely incredible. For moves, that match was better than this one, but this match was a lot longer. It had a different vibe to it. It was a lot more of a story, and the crowd, was really a cool crowd because I think that at the beginning there were some rough spots in the match.
Yep.
But the last, whatever it was, 20 minutes were really incredible.
The story that was told, I mean, you see it, you get it on Twitter on a daily basis at the Young Bucks. That style of wrestling, there's no storytelling, there's no selling.
But there was.
Of course, right.
Yeah,
exactly.
and really, when it comes to that, the Young Bucks have done, partially because Matt's hurt, they've done a lot more storytelling in their matches this year than ever before. So, like if people say, "Oh, the Young Bucks don't sell and don't storytell," it's like, 6 years ago, that's probably, even 5 years ago, there was probably something to that. But in the last year, it's kind of like you're judging something from, because everyone says that, but it isn't the case anymore.
Is Matt Jackson actually injured? Is it a legit shoot injury?
Yeah, there's a back injury.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Bullet Club storyline advanced today, and we know that Omega faces Cody at Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor in New Orleans on WrestleMania weekend. Where do they go from here? Because it seems like it's a splintered thing. How does the storyline kind of advance from this point?
I don't know. This match was like a match where it had to happen. Everybody was waiting for it to happen. I think the way they ended it, and I know the way that I didn't see obviously the broadcast, but I know the way that Jim Ross called it at the end was very much trying to build the idea that nothing's settled. We're going to see it again.
Okay.
And it's such a physically taxing match because they have this standard that they feel they have to live up to it, or else if they're not blow away look, if you went in there and said like, okay, this is like one of the top 10 tag team matches the last 18 months, everybody would go, or they would go to themselves. It's like, well, we didn't accomplish what we set out to accomplish.
Right.
So it's these guys and their friends and everything like that. And Kota Ibushi is just a phenomenal wrestler, and Kenny Omega is one of the best in the world. And the Young Bucks, been the best tag team in the world. So it's the expectations are awfully high.
Sure. This event sold out in about 10 minutes in Long Beach, and they announced tonight officially, which you had reported previously, that New Japan is coming back to the United States. They're going to run the Cow Palace in San Francisco, your neck of the woods, on July 7th. That is a much bigger building from a business standpoint. Now this building I think is not quite 5,000. I think 4,700. They sold out quickly. Where is New Japan right now as far as business in the United States? This is only their second show ever in the States. Where are they right now? Third ever. Okay.
Yeah, because they did the two last year.
Of course. Right.
Yeah,
okay.
So,
good point.
Yeah. So as far as I think that the next show is a giant test.
Okay.
Because they're, what they did here, this was big because it sold out so fast. When they booked this building, I thought they would probably sell out, but I didn't have any expectation of a 10-minute sellout. The next one, you're in it's in a new market, but the market doesn't really matter. It's like how many people, it's like, Will people fly in again in July that flew in for this show? Because these are people all over the country who came in, and it's almost like the next one. It's not a novelty in the sense that we've never seen New Japan live. Right. Let's go see it, and we'll fly in for it. And it's also, it's a lot more seats. How many fans does New Japan have that are willing to fly in? And we don't know because the last two have been so easy sellouts that we've never tested. They've never tested the waters at that level.
Is it the right move, do you think, going back this quickly in July?
I'm surprised that, the date surprises me.
Okay.
The location doesn't surprise me. I think the location's probably a good one. It's kind of a famous wrestling arena, even though it hasn't been used in years and years and years. But in the 60s, the Cow Palace and Madison Square Garden were the two big wrestling arenas in the country, one on the West Coast, one on the East Coast. So, WWE has run it, but they pretty much stopped running it a long time ago. The last big event with WWE, last big event at the Cow Palace was Brock Lesnar and Eddie Guerrero. So that's like 2004.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah. Last couple of things. Rey Mysterio Jr. was supposed to wrestle tonight against Jushin Liger, had a bicep injury, couldn't make it, but he was here, and he got involved afterward, and it seemed to set up future matches against
3 future matches, which surprised me. I mean, when he came out, it was like, okay, I could see him, wanting to make good and do one match with Jushin Liger. But it's like, he set up Jushin Liger, Will Ospreay, and Marty Scurll. And Marty Scurll was kind of like set up as a grudge match because he unmasked him.
Yeah.
Will Ospreay was set up as a championship match because he talked about the championship.
Yep.
So perhaps, I mean, that would be interesting if, I don't know, because Ray's been talking to WWE. That's not a secret. Ray, I mean, they've been in negotiations since before the Royal Rumble. As far as for the one shot, and the Royal Rumble went so big that, that they want him, and for him, it's big. I mean, this would be something different for him, but the question is how long, and I think that depends on, as far as like what they're going to do. If he's going to be around for a while, he should win the championship. I think that would be good for him. I think it'd be great for the company. And everybody. The one thing is with like Marty Scurll and Ospreay and all the junior heavyweights there, is that they grew up with watching him. So it's like it's going to be like a real thrill for them. It's like you're wrestling your childhood hero on television, in a big show.
Sure.
So for Will, Will's fantastic, but Will's going to be ultra fantastic if he's in there with Ray, I think.
No Chris Jericho tonight at all.
No.
They haven't really mentioned him much since he attacked Naito, of course, in the storyline at New Year Dash in January. Any idea of what's going on
I don't
there?
know nothing about Jericho. I mean, at all. He keeps everything. He keeps his
Real close.
Yeah, he doesn't tell you anything. So he's pretty clever when it comes to that stuff. I mean, he went on a tweet and said that that's it. And I directly asked him, and he didn't directly answer me. So I don't think I think he's trying to throw people off scent. I think there's still something there. But I know, like here, it's funny because all the inside fans are like, Jericho's going to be here, Jericho's going to be here. And I mean, I felt no hint of it. He wasn't doing a concert tonight.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't have any answers when it comes to Jericho, but I know he was interested in Dominion. I would think that the Cow Palace would really interest him,
right,
for a lot of
Historical,
reasons.
Yeah.
Historical, and the fact that if he could be the guy who's in one of the main events where they do that, that's the kind of thing that he lives for now. It's like, I mean, he was real big on as far as like how many subscribers New Japan World gained in January,
right,
how many tickets the Tokyo Dome sold compared to the year before. He was on top of that. I mean, that was what that was his, I wouldn't say it's his entire motivation, because wrestling Kenny Omega was a lot of motivation, but it was like he wanted to show that he was a big time difference maker. Because in WWE, you never know, because it's a whole package, and
Sure.
and it's not really one match, and even if it was, he hasn't been put in that dream match situation. So I think that for his career, it was like something really big. And it was one of the best matches he ever did.
Yeah.
And at 47, I guess we found out after. I mean, I didn't know it at the time, but people researched it after, and he was the oldest guy ever to do a singles 4-star match, or 5-star match, I should say. So that's something, I mean, he doesn't live and die with that, but it's still, to have a match that good at his age when people start going, oh, he slowed down. I mean, it was kind of like proving something to a lot of people.
And the Cow Palace would be, if they were to sell it out, would be the highest attendance for a non-WWE pro wrestling event since WCW, correct? If it in the United States, of course.
Yeah, in the United States, I would think if they really sell it out, I would say since probably 1999.
Wow.
Maybe because WCW may have done something in 2000, but they would have papered all the tickets or papered so many of them. I mean, it's a real paid 13,000 people. I mean, WCW definitely did that in 1999 a couple times.
Gotcha. So that could be a feather in the cap for Jericho if that were to happen.
Right.
Very last thing, the semi-main event was Jay White defending the U.S. The IWGP U.S. title against Hangman Page. Thoughts on that match?
I felt so sorry for them coming out. I mean, they followed Okada, they followed Tanahashi, they followed Minoru Suzuki. You know, they were not the people that these fans came to see. So we're deep into the show. We're 3+ hours into the show. They come out, and everybody by this time just wants to see the Young Bucks and the Golden Lovers because that's like a dream match. So they had their work cut out for them, and I think that they did an incredible job. They risked life and limb to shock people into getting into the match. But in the end, the people gave them a standing ovation.
Yep.
And it was, that was one of the 2 matches that got standing ovations. You know, the other obviously was the main event.
Of course. All right, I think that's wraps us up here from Walter Pyramid in Long Beach, California. For Dave, I'm Mark. Stay tuned to CageSideSeats.com and the YouTube channel for all the coverage from tonight and beyond.